I think at the end of the day, a lot of these futuristic cities are just what you said. They start from this idea of it being futuristic. So you think of soulless. That's what I think of. Think of robots and machinery and automation.
To even consider doing anything like this, you must be very wealthy and imaginative. But there is a very wealthy visionary working on doing just that. Marc Lore, a man who had worked as an executive for Walmart, is now on a mission to transform a barren desert into the ideal metropolis of Telosa. But who exactly is this strangely wealthy individual? What is his vision for the city as it evolves into the next century? And if we ignore all the publicity, do we expect him to really be able to complete the task? Let's find out. Telosa is a city that serves as a blueprint for the kind of megalopolis that will exist in the future. It is also the location of 5 million people living and working together in a different civilization. The way of life in Telosa stands in sharp contrast to that of most cities in the United States today. To start, there aren't many automobiles in the city, and there are no powered by fossil fuels. Homeowners do not need to have them since every community in Telosa is planned with sustainability in mind and with people's needs as the priority. Within a 15-minute walk, a person can go to their place of employment, their recreational activities, their schools, their shopping, and the municipal services they need. Buildings in the city are designed to save energy, and there are aeroponic farms, lots of shaded public places, and an abundance of green space, including a verdant center park. The eye-catching Equitism Tower can be found in the heart of the city. It serves as a beacon that can be seen for miles around, and its expansive construction represents the hope that Telosa has for itself. Telosa is based on the notion that our concept of a city and how it functions must be entirely rethought. Instead of being created gradually over decades or even centuries using fragmented building methods, Telosa will be built from the ground up using cutting-edge technology and contemporary urban planning ideas. It is thought that the word higher purpose comes from the Greek word telos, where the term originates. The philosophical vision of Telosa is even more audacious than its promises about its lifestyle. The architects of Telosa want to build a new model for cities all over the globe and illustrate a more egalitarian and sustainable future by using all that has been learned about urban planning throughout hundreds of years in conjunction with the most recent developments. Going one step further, the designers suggest implementing a new economic system called equitism. All of the city's people would have an equal say in its growth and progress and access to the benefits of their work if equitism were implemented. It is not exactly a communist paradise, but more of a reformed version of capitalism, in which wealth is generated and distributed better to all members of society.
I think the biggest challenge is first having the capital, and then it's the chicken and egg problem. Is if it is completely new, how do you get people to move there and live there? I think one of the things that we've learned from history is that if we're going to really do this, we need to do it like in a shotgun kind of approach where overnight 50,000 people move in.
The overarching objective is to provide a method whereby every citizen may participate in developing their community on an equal footing. Marc Lore, the creator of Telosa, is one of the few people who, although many dreamers have created their own future cities, can make it a reality. Lore is a well-known entrepreneur, investor, and businessman who was once the CEO of the e-commerce sector of Walmart. He was born and raised in the state of New York. Outside of his employment at the retail behemoth, Lore has been engaged in hundreds of company projects. The business world acknowledges Lore for his amazing inventions, which he has introduced throughout his time in the business sector. Thus, in September of 2021, Lore resigned from his position as an executive at Walmart to focus on a totally new endeavor, the development of the city of Telosa. It seems as if Lore is dead set on turning his fantasy into a reality, with his net worth being in the billions and his countless contacts prepared to pitch in their money. The idea of Telosa, despite the fact that it may appear thrilling at this point, is still far from reality. At this point, the city is just in the initial phases of the planning process. Nevertheless, the designers expect to have the city's first phase ready for occupancy by 2030. To assist with the actualization of Telosa's vision, Lore has enlisted the services of the architectural company Bjarke Engels Group to lead the design and master planning of the city. Aside from Telosa's overarching idea and a few preliminary designs, practically every other aspect of the project, including how they want to generate the about $400 billion required, is still up in the air. One option that has been recommended is for Lore to invest money from his own venture capital fund to get firms to locate in Telosa. This would not only result in the creation of employment, but also attract new inhabitants. Another aspect that still needs to be resolved is where precisely the city will be established. The state of Nevada, the state of Idaho, the state of Utah, Arizona, or the Appalachian area are now the leading possibilities. Thus, time will tell. If Lore has played his cards well, then maybe future generations will have him to thank for the paradigm shift in urban living. But is Telosa capable of truly doing what it set out to do? In the end, the outcome will be determined by the quality of the team that Lore can assemble around his initiative, and whether or not that team can motivate others to move to Telosa. To begin, Lore does not have any experience working with urban planning. The city's location in the deserts of the American Southwest will be one of the most significant obstacles to its progress. Water is rare in that region, and its scarcity is expected to worsen with time.
Water, eventually, it evaporates. They could stretch water probably using those kinds of methods a lot further than maybe has been done historically with urban sprawl. But I still think that there would be some challenges about the long term.
Suppose Telosa is ever going to become a reality. In that case, it will depend on cutting-edge concepts such as properly controlled reservoirs, high water storage, and indoor farming. However, Telosa is not the only project currently being developed. Other potential future cities have been envisioned, such as the recently planned metropolis of Line in Saudi Arabia, which would be constructed in a single continuous line. In the previous several decades, various cities have been developed from nothing, such as the meticulously planned capital of Brazil, Brasilia, and the Pudong New area in the People's Republic of China. It is quite clear that there is a market for these novel concepts. As much as Lore would want it, the future holds no guarantees that Telosa will really serve as an example for other cities. The criticism, such as that found in an article published by The Guardian, relates, among other things, to the fact that a billionaire wants to determine the destiny of this place. A city's ability to run without the collection of taxes is another issue that has not been satisfactorily addressed to this day. If it is conceivable to construct such a massive project in the desert, we won't know until at least the year 2030 whether or not it will be successful. The assertion that this is only a vanity endeavor is yet another critique. With such a vast budget, it is also conceivable to make significant improvements to existing cities, as opposed to establishing a sustainable metropolis from scratch in the middle of a desert. Would you consider making Telosa your permanent home? Even while you can't fully claim your seat just yet, those who are interested may still join the Telosa Community Network and attend a town hall event to learn more and have their say in the creation of the city. In other words, Telosa is a daring vision for our future, which comes at a time when many people are growing more wary of the direction in which we are heading. Leave a comment telling us what you think about the future city, and if you believe it's a good investment or a new dystopian fantasy. And that wraps things up. We appreciate you watching this video. Please hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.